Good morning, friends, and welcome to my library. And I'm reading this book which tells me about the important and historic events that happened today, which is October 18th. So, I would like to share these important history with you. Let's start our journey today and find out what are so interesting events that happened on October 18th. Well, the first one is a big earthquake that happened up north in the upper north region of the Alps, which is in Switzerland today. And this is October 18, 1356, when the city of Basel was completely destroyed by a very strong earthquake. And typically people in this area don't experience earthquake because most of the earthquakes in Alps region happens in the northern Italy. So this is so significant because probably people were not knowledgeable or experienced enough to handle this catastrophe which happened very up north in the area of Basel, which is almost on the border of Germany and Switzerland. All right, let's move to the next one. This is about the labor unions, and the first recorded labor union was actually formed in United States, not in Europe, and this was on October 18th, 1648, when the shoemakers basically decided to form their labor union, and they named it as Boston Shoemakers Organization. This was the first recorded labor union in the world. All right, let's move to the next one. This is about Alaska. I do not know whether you are aware that Alaska, which is the 49th state of United States, was not part of USA. It was actually purchased from Russia. It was part of Russia, and Russia sold it to US, thinking that this is a barren land and it has nothing but the forest and wilderness, because they had enough wilderness already in Russia in the form of Siberia. So they felt that this is one area which they can get rid of, and guarding this area is also quite difficult, and protecting it. So they decided to make money out of it, and they sold this part of North America, which was under their control, in the year 1867 to US for a sum of 7.2 million US dollars. Later, I think Russians would have regretted, because Alaska is a very oil-rich region, and this is probably the biggest oil region in the world, and the US is protecting this resource and not drilling it. All right, let's move to the next one. This is about the great Thomas Edison, the great inventor. And he invented more than 2,000 inventions that we use today. And the more significant one is the light bulb. And because of the invention of the light bulb, people replaced candles in their home and gas lanterns, which was very unsafe and hazardous, with a much safer option, which is electricity and light bulb. So today, on October 18th, for the very first time in the world, in 1878, Edison started his transmission of electricity transmission to homes for household use, using electric cables, that overhead electric cables that we still see in some of the cities. All right, let's move to the next one. This is again about some invention which happened today. Today is a very historic day. The first commercially launched private long distance telephone line started today between New York and Chicago, and this was in 1892 on October 18th, when people were able to make telephone calls between these two far-off locations, which is New York and Chicago. And important thing is, this was the very first commercial telephone line in the world. All right, let's move to the next one. Well, in 1912 on October 18th, the Turkish and Italians, Turkey and Italy, went to war. And over what land? Over Libya. Believe it or not, The Turkey had control on Libya, and the Italians thought that they will basically win that war and acquire this land for their own use. And for the very first time, the aerial bombardment was used in this war. And Turkish administration lost the battle, and Libya was acquired by Italy. And this aerial bombardment was done by Italy using the airships. So and they were very successful. So this particular battle showed to the world that the air power can be so decisive and it can be strategically used. So that is why it is very significant. October 18th, 1912, when the first aerial bombardment was used using airships by Italy. All right, let's move to the next one. This is about the everyday device that we have on our dining table, that is called toaster. And toaster has basically revolutionized the way we actually have our breakfast. And you have the warm, crispy bread toast available instantly in a matter of few seconds, which is crispy from outside, soft from inside. Very, very specific characteristic of the bread. And this is created by this device called toaster. This was invented in 1912. Today it was patented on October 18th by a gentleman called Charles Strite. And he came up with the grandfather of the modern day toasters today on October 18th, 1921. Not so long ago. All right, let's move to the next one. Well, there was a time when we used to listen, not me, but what I've heard from my father and the grandparents, that they used to listen to BBC if they want to basically learn about the events of what was going on. And BBC became very popular world over because this BBC was actually a British radio channel, and they had a vast empire, and that is why they had a lot of correspondents who used to send information using telegraph or telephones in those days. And BBC used to read out these news, and the listeners across the world, when they tune in to BBC radio channel, they can get access instantly to all the global news. That is the beauty of the BBC, and that is why it was very popular. This was founded, or rather started its operation on October 18th, which is today, in the year 1922. So significant day for the radio broadcasting. We don't get the radio broadcasting because that has been taken over by televisions in the 50s, and now in the last century, in 90s, the television has been migrated gradually over the internet. So the radio has basically become the relic of the past, but there was a time when radio was everything. All right, let's move to the next one. Well, this is about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a very rich country. They are a monarchy-based country, oil rich. They are the biggest member of OPEC. They produce the maximum crude oil or petroleum, and they supply it to the world, mostly to the China and India, because they are the big markets for Saudi Arabia, and also the United States, because US also drill and buy the oil from Saudi. So what is so significant which happened in Saudi today? Well, today is October 18th. In the year 2013, Saudi Arabia became the only country to refuse a seat in United Nations Security Council. They were offered a seat because they are a significant country, fairly large in the Middle East, quite rich, and also they have their hands everywhere in the global economy, and hence they were given a permanent seat, not permanent, maybe temporary, in the United Nations Security Council, but they refused on October 18th, 2013, because they were protesting over the Syrian action. So that makes them the only country in the world to refuse to join United Nations Security Council. So some of the important things happened today, friends. If you have any opinion, you can send me the comment, or better would be to join me live every day at 10:30. I meet you Monday to Friday, and today I like to say goodbye, only to catch you again tomorrow at 10:30 with important historic incidents about October 19th. Please take care. Bye bye for today.